Good morning, students. My name is Poonam Daswani. I hope you all are good and your family is doing great. Students, today we will start with the grammar revision. English grammar revision lesson 1 and 2. We all have studied or learned about the grammar lesson 1 and 2. So again today we will revise about English grammar lesson 1 and 2. Lesson 1 is nouns, collective and abstract. Students, we all know what are nouns. We all know what are nouns. Nouns are the names that refer to name, place, animal, things, like places, people, names of people, places, animals, and things. And we all have learned about the collective nouns and abstract nouns also. What are the collective and abstract nouns? So first we will see about what are the collective nouns. A collective noun is a collection of things taken as a whole. Now there are many things. We don't call each and everything. We take it as a whole for that full group. Most collective nouns in everyday speech are not specific to one kind of thing, such as the word group. Now we can't call every all the things which are kept, we can't call them groups, but we have a specific name for each group. Like there are different names for things, set of people. There are different names for the set of animals. There are different names for set of creatures, things, animals, people. So the group of name which we call is known as a collective noun. For example, like it is given here, not specific to one kind of thing, such as the word group, which can be applied to people. A group of people, we can call a group of people, or it is also referred for, a group is also referred for dogs, a group of dogs. But we cannot refer group for the other things. So there are different names for each of the collective set, that is known as collective noun. Now first we start with the warm up exercise in your textbook. So I would like you all to open your textbook, lesson number 1 and page number 1. And this is the warm up exercise. We have all have done this exercise before. I want you all again to open the same textbook so we can revise and recollect the names for the collection of whatever things are there in the textbook, so that we can see and we can memorize again, we can recall the names again. So here is the warm up exercise. Name what you see in each picture below. What is each group or collection called? See, there is a group or a collection. Now group or a collection called. Answer each in one word. Now we can't call one flower, like one flower, one pink flower, one white flower. We can't keep on calling each flower. So there is a name for group of flowers. Now group is not referred for the flowers. We cannot call it a group of flowers, or in the second image we cannot call it a group of photos. No. So there is a different name for each of the thing, for each of the animal. There are different names. So we will see what are those names called, and that name is called the collective noun. That particular name for the group is called the collective noun. Like in the first image it is given flowers, group of flowers. Now we don't call it group of flowers, we call it bouquet of flowers. What do we call it? We call it bouquet of flowers. In the second image there are photos, photographs. We don't call it group of photo, we call it an album of photos. An album of photos. In the third image there are a group of players playing. We don't call it a group of players, we call it a team of players. The correct word for the group of players is a team of players. In the fourth image, there are many keys put together in one keychain. So we don't call it a group of keys. we call it a bunch of keys. In the same manner, we'll see more examples. We already know that nouns are names of person, places, animals, or things. But a collective noun refers to a set or group of persons, animals, or things. As we all saw in the warm-up exercise, a collective noun refers to a set or group or collection of people, animal, persons, or things. In the warm-up, the first picture is a collection of flowers. We do not refer each flower separately. We refer to them together collectively as a bouquet of flowers. As I told you, we don't keep on calling one separate flower. We refer to it as a group of flowers, but group is not the correct word for the flowers. The correct name for the flowers is a bouquet of flowers. Similarly, in the second picture, we refer to collection of photographs as an album of photographs. An album of photographs. Why are we using an? Because a is a vowel, so that's why an comes before a vowel, so we are using an album of photographs. In the third picture, we refer to a group of players as a team of players. What are we referring to? A group of players. We are not saying it a group of players, but we are calling it a team of players. In the fourth picture, we refer to a group of keys as a bunch of keys. We do not call it a group of keys. We call it a bunch of keys. Let us look at some more examples. A brood of chicks, a brood of chicks, a school of dolphins, a herd of buffaloes, a flock of sheep. These are the examples for the animals. Did you notice an plus collective noun is a team of plural, that is players. A team is a collection of what? Of a plural noun. It is not a collection of a single. Single means there will be one thing only. So a collective noun is a collection of plural nouns, like many things. Collective noun is a collection of many things. There is no single thing we call it a collective nouns, but plural things like plural nouns, we call it a collective nouns. Let us read some more collective nouns. You might have observed here in the end there is S, means there is a plural, a brood of chicks. It is not a brood of chick. It is a brood of chicks, that is many. A herd of buffaloes. It is not a herd of buffalo, it is a herd of buffaloes, which is a plural. So, collective noun is a collection of plural things, means plural nouns. A school of dolphins. It is not a school of dolphin, no. Dolphins, a flock of sheep. Why it is sheep here? Because in singular and plural, sheep remains same. That's why we don't change sheep. But in others, it is S. So, a collective noun is a collection of plural nouns. Is a collection of plural nouns. Let us read some more collective nouns. Collective nouns for people. A company or a troupe of actors, an army or troop of soldiers. Now, in the troop of actors and a troop of soldiers, the pronunciation is same, but the spelling is different. Pronunciation is same, but the spelling is different. A company or troop of actors, an army or troop of soldiers. A team of players. You can see there is S after each name. That means it is a plural. A crew of sailors. A gang of prisoners or robbers. A class of pupils or students. A patrol of policemen. Men, it is men. Men means it is plural. Man is a singular. A band of musicians, a choir of singers, a host of angels, a circle of friends, a troop of dancers, a pack of thieves, a crowd of people. Means collective noun is a collection of plural things, plural nouns. Whichever ends with S means many. Now, collective nouns for things. A flight of aeroplanes, a crop of apples, a bunch of bananas, a library of books, a crate of bottles, a loaf of bread. We don't call breads, that's why bread is also a plural. A batch of cakes, a fleet of cars, a roll of cloth. Roll of cloth. Here we are using cloth. We are not using clothes. A roll of clothes. No, a roll of cloth. A range of mountains, a row of houses, a block of ice. We don't say block of ices. No, ice. A list of names, a ream of paper. We don't say papers. A ream of paper. An album of photographs. A heap of garbage or rubbish. A fleet of ships. A pack of cards, a collection of stamps, a flight of steps or stairs, a heap of mud or stones, a stock of wood, a bale of wool, and a bunch of keys. Now we move on to collective nouns for creatures. A colony of ants or termites, a litter of puppies, a school of whales or fish, a flock or flight of birds. You can call it a flock of birds. You can also call it a flight of birds. A brood of chickens or chicks. A troop of monkeys, a parliament of owls. A pack of dogs or wolves, a gaggle of geese, a flock of goats, a drove of horses, a swarm of bees, a pack of wolves, a herd of elephants. These are the some collective nouns examples for the people, things, and creatures. We have some more examples. Collective nouns for people, animals, and things, like a band of men, a cast of actors, a stack of librarians, a sentence of judges, a galaxy of beauties, a bevy of girls, a choir of singers, a hack of smokers, a colony of girls for the animals. Students, these are just examples. You don't need to write this in your textbook. This is just for reference, for giving more examples, so you don't need to write it anywhere. This is for your information. If you want, you can learn it, but this is just an example for a collective nouns for animals, like a colony of gulls, a brood of hens, a flight of birds, a flock of turkeys, a group of guiana pigs, a litter of cubs, a kennel of dogs, a slot of bears. Things. Now collective nouns for things. A batch of cakes, a bottle of milk, a bowl of rice, a box of cereal, a can of soda, a carton of milk, a cup of tea. These are some more examples for collective nouns for your information. Now we move on to exercise A. Collective nouns for people. Students, we all have solved these exercises before also. This is just for recollection and recalling the memory, so that you understand and learn it, and you can remember it. Now this is collective noun for people. A team of players, a patrol of policemen, a band of musicians, an army of soldiers, a crowd of people, a troop of dancers, a choir of singers, a class of students. Students, these are some of the collective nouns used for people, and you can see all these are more than one, so these are all the plural nouns. Collective noun is referred for plural noun, which is more than one. Now we move ahead to collective nouns for things. A range of mountains, a flight of aeroplanes, a crate of bottles, a crop of apples, a fleet of ships, a row of houses, a ream of paper, a cluster of stars. You can write also a galaxy of stars. So these are the collective nouns for things. You can see in this image there is more than one thing. There is more than one thing. So it is also referred for plural noun. Collective noun is referred for plural noun. Now we move on to collective nouns for creatures. Collective nouns for creatures. As you can see in this also, there is more than one creature in each picture. A colony of ants, a pride of lions, a herd of elephants, a litter of puppies, a drove of horses, a school of whales, a flock of goats, a troop of monkeys. Students, here we end with the collective nouns. So I think you can recall now. Now you can remember properly what are the collective nouns. Now we move on to the abstract nouns. What are the abstract nouns? Abstract nouns are words that name things that are not concrete. Your five physical senses cannot detect an abstract noun. You can't see it, smell it, taste it, hear it, or touch it. In essence, an abstract noun is a quality, concept, an idea, or maybe even an event. What is a abstract noun? Abstract noun is concrete, which we cannot touch. We can only feel it. You will not be able to see. The abstract noun you cannot see or touch physically, but you can only feel it. Abstract noun is a quality, a concept, idea, or an event. Event is also an abstract noun. So we'll see more examples of the abstract nouns. An abstract noun is a word which names something that you cannot see, hear, touch, smell, or taste. Now here are the example sentences of the abstract noun. We have to get at the truth of the matter. Now truth. Can we see truth? No. Can we touch the truth? No. We can only speak it. When we speak, we can feel. Yes, the person is saying truth. So truth is an abstract noun. Mary isn't the type of person who gossips. Now gossip is a talkative person who talks more. So can we touch the talking of the words? We can touch words of a person? No. but we can only hear or we can only feel that yes, the person talks too much. So Mary isn't the type of person who gossips. Gossips is an abstract noun. People lost faith in banks. Now, faith is an abstract noun because faith means trust. You cannot touch or see trust. You can only feel, yes, this is trust. Trustworthy person. Like, I can trust this person. So, people lost faith in banks. Faith is an abstract noun. She will defeat them. Now, when you're going for some playing games or some sports, can you tell that no, this team is going to win or this team is going to win? No. But when you play, you come to know who will defeat and who will win. So defeat is not defeat. You cannot touch it, but you can feel. Yes, she will defeat them. You can only feel it. You cannot touch it. I was delighted at the news of her success. Success. Now, success. Can you touch success? No, but you can only achieve it. When you are successful, you achieve success. So, you cannot touch success. They laughed at my idea. Now, idea. Can you touch your idea? No, but when you work, you come to know what is the idea, how you are going to work. That is an idea. So you cannot touch it or see it. You can only imagine your idea. They laughed at my idea. Alex had a fear that he would fall down. Now, can you see or touch fear? Can you see fear? Can you touch it? No, but you can only feel, oh, I'm afraid that I'll fall down. I'm fear. He had a fear. Alex had a fear that he would fall down. So it is only you can feel. She tried to restrain her anger. Anger. Now, can you touch anger? No, you can touch angry person, but can you touch anger? No, you can only feel that the person is very angry. Don't underestimate your own strength. Now, can you touch your strength? No, you can only feel it. You can only feel that yes, this person is very strength. This person has strength. He's very strong. You can only feel, but you cannot touch the strength. You can touch a strong person, but you cannot touch the strength. So strength is an abstract noun. Samuel has a good side and an evil side. Evil means bad side. Now, what there is in this sentence that Samuel has a good side and also a bad side. Now, can you touch the bad side of Samuel? No, you cannot touch it. You can only feel that oh, he's very bad. Oh, he is very good. You can only touch it. Oh, sorry, you can only feel it. You cannot touch it. So, evil is a abstract noun. Now, in the same way, the bravery and honesty, you can only feel this person is very brave and this person is honest. You can only feel it, but you cannot touch the braveness of a person or the honesty of a person. You cannot touch the bravery and you cannot touch the honesty, but you can only feel that the person is brave and the person is honest. In the three pictures you just saw people working honestly. They do not cheat anybody. The woman dealing with money does not steal, the student does not copy in the exam, and the auto driver hands over passengers back to the police. They are honest people. We can see the honest behavior of these people, but can we see their honesty? No, we cannot. Only we can see their behavior. Oh, they are so honest, but we cannot touch, we cannot feel, we cannot touch their honesty. We can touch the honest person, but we cannot touch their honesty. The words bravery and honesty are nouns. They are not names of persons, places, animals, or things. We can see them like we can see persons, places, animals, or things. We can only see them, but we cannot touch them. Let us learn about abstract nouns. Abstract nouns are not names of persons, places, animals, or things. Like anger. Have you heard anybody's name as anger? No. Honesty? No. Nobody has those names. Bravery is not an name. Evil is not the name. Happiness is not the name. Joyness is not the joyful is not the name. So these are not the names of person, places, animals, or things, but these are the qualities. These are the qualities of the persons which you cannot see, feel, touch, smell, or taste, but you can only experience. You can only feel it. Abstract nouns refer to the qualities of a person, place, animal, or thing which you cannot see, feel, touch, smell, or taste. You can only experience. Here are some more examples. Peter and Paul are friends. They can see each other, they can shake hands and touch each other, but they cannot see friendship. They can only experience it. You cannot touch the friendship. You can touch your friend, but you cannot touch the friendship. The words Peter and Paul are nouns, that is concrete nouns. You can touch, feel, and see them. The words friendship is also a noun, but it is an abstract noun because you cannot touch the friendship. See another example of abstract noun. Have these chocolates and you will enjoy their sweetness. What is the boy saying? He's saying, have these chocolates and you'll enjoy their sweetness. What is the girl saying? What is she asking? She's saying, what is sweetness? What do you mean by sweetness? What is it? So the boy is saying her, taste it and you will understand what I mean by sweetness. I cannot explain sweetness. It is abstract. Now when you eat the chocolate, you understand its sweetness on your own. I cannot, if I eat the chocolate, I cannot say you that this is this much sweet, this is 50 times sweet, this is 60 times sweet, this is 100% sweet. No, when you eat it, you can only understand it. Oh, this is this much sweet, this is dark chocolate, this is light chocolate, this is brown chocolate. When you eat, you will only understand the sweetness. Nobody else can understand. So sweetness is an abstract noun because you cannot touch the sweetness. You can only feel it. By taking the chocolate in your hand, you cannot understand the sweetness of the chocolate until and unless you eat the chocolate. So the sweetness is the abstract noun. Here are some more examples of abstract nouns like anger, boldness, hatred, calmness, delight, friendship, goodness, hatred, jealousy, kindness, love, patience, pride, quietness, sadness, timidity. Timidity means when you feel low. It is timidity, victory, wisdom, youth, bitterness. Now here is the exercise which we have already solved. Underline the abstract noun in each list. Apple, chocolate, burger, hunger. Now which is the abstract noun? Yes, hunger is the abstract noun because we cannot touch the hunger, but we can touch apple, chocolate, and burger. Now second one is face, hands, anger, fist. You can touch your face, you can touch your hands, you can touch your fist. But can you touch the anger? No. You can touch the angry person, but can you touch the anger? No. So anger is the abstract noun. Water, thirst, juice, milkshake. You can touch water, you can touch juice, you can touch milkshake, but can you touch thirst? No. You cannot touch the thirst. Happiness, shirts, trousers, shoes. Again, happiness, you cannot touch it. Eyes, tears, cheek, sadness. Can you touch sadness? No. So sadness is the abstract noun. Here are some more examples of abstract nouns. Advantage, adventure, bravery, charity, enthusiasm, envy, hope, imagination. These are also examples of abstract nouns. Now we move ahead with the exercise B. Here are some more examples of, we just finished this exercise. Now we move on to exercise C. Circle the abstract noun in each pair. The first one has been done for you. Students, we have already finished this exercise. We'll just have a quick look on the exercise. What are the abstract nouns? Like anger, boldness, bravery, calmness, hatred, poverty, victory, youth, love, peaceful, hunger, courageous, brilliance, happiness, jealousy, pride, wisdom, sadness, affectionate, and patience. These are all abstract nouns. You have to um, circle the correct abstract noun. You have to circle the correct abstract noun. You have to choose the correct answer. Now we move ahead to exercise E. We have already done this exercise. A student of a school saved an old woman from drowning. We must praise the student for his bravery. Can you touch the bravery? No. So bravery is an abstract noun. We must never speak lies or cheat anyone. Honesty is the best policy. Honesty. When food is not available, you understand the pain of hunger. You understand the pain of hunger. You can touch the hungry person, but you cannot touch the hunger. Learn to wait for things. Patience is a good quality. Patience is a quality. Patience means to wait. Wait. Hatred and jealousy will make you lose friends. Hatred and jealousy are the, again, which are not the good qualities. We won the match. Let us celebrate our victory. Let us celebrate our victory. Victory is the thing which you cannot touch. So you can touch the victorious person who won the match, but you cannot touch the victory. Pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. Pride. You can touch the proud person, but you cannot touch the pride. Are there any reasons for your sadness? Sadness is a feeling which you cannot touch. My uncle has a lot of experience in life. I respect him for his wisdom. Wisdom is the understanding which you can only feel. You cannot touch. Can you touch your understanding? No, you can only feel it. Let us do some good. Let us not waste our youth. Means our youngness which we have got, the age. Can you touch your youth? No, you can only feel, oh, she's so young, he's so young. You can only feel it, but you cannot touch your youth. Now we move ahead with the summary. What we learned in this chapter. In this chapter, we have learned that a collective noun refers to a set or group of people, animals, or things. Collective noun refers to a set or group of people, animal, or things. An abstract noun denotes a quality of a person. What it shows? A quality of person, place, or thing. And we cannot see, touch, or feel an abstract noun. We can only experience it through our action or behavior. Students, here we end with the lesson 1. Now we move ahead with the lesson 2. Revision of lesson 2, nouns, singular and plural. Now we all know what is singular and what is plural. Singular means which is one, which is referred as one, and plural is more than one. So singular and plural. First we move on to the warm-up exercise. I want you all to open lesson number 2. These are pictures of things that are many. Can you write the plural forms of these singular nouns? Now singular, we have already done this exercise, and the singular nouns are given. We have to make it plural. We write the plural when we add s to the nouns. We make it as plural. For example, stars, stars, tomato, tomatoes, bus, buses, photo, photos, dress, dresses, mango, mangoes, church, churches, key, keys, dish, dishes, butterfly, butterflies, box, boxes, leaf, leaves. Now you can all see we have changed the word from singular to plural, but while changing, in some words we have added only s, in some we have added es, in some we have added ies. In some words we add only s, in some words we add es, in some word we add ies. Singular and plural nouns. A singular noun refers to only one person, place or thing. A plural noun refers to more than one person, place or thing. Singular is a single one, only one person, place or thing, and plural means more than one, many person, place or thing. For example, window is singular and windows is plural. Here are more examples. For example, stars, stars, bus, buses, dress, dresses, church, churches, dish, dishes, box, boxes, tomato, tomatoes, photo, photos, mango, mangoes, key, keys, butterfly, butterflies, leaf, leaves. Now here are the rules. When we change the singular to plural, here are some rules which we follow. General rule. What is the general rule? Is when we have to change from singular to plural, we just add s to the word. Most nouns are made plural by adding s to the end of the singular form, like cars, cars, bags, bag, bags, table, tables. Now these words are made plural by just adding s. Now there are some words which end in s, x, z, ch, sh and ss. When the word end with these letters, we add es. What we add? We add es when the word end with s, x, z, ch, sh and ss. We add es. For example, bus, buses, bench, benches, box, boxes, fez, fezzes and gas, that is gases. Now nouns ending in f or fe, what we add? F or fe, we add ves. We remove that f and fe and we add ves. For example, calf, calves, shelf, shelves, wolf, wolves, cuff, cuffs, chef, chefs, belief, beliefs. Now these are the nouns ending with f or fe. We add ves. Now we have nouns ending in o. When the noun ends with O, that is the vowel, we add only S. Ending with O, we add S. Nouns that end in O preceded by a vowel are made plural by adding S. Now, nouns which end in O but have the vowel and O, we add only S. The noun which end in O but have a vowel before it, we add only S. Like radio, radios. O is end last letter, but it is before O is coming I, that is the vowel. So we add only S. Like stereo. O, the word is ending with O, but before O, what is coming? E. E is a vowel. So we add only S. Radio, radios, stereo, stereos, video, videos. Now we have nouns ending in O, but it is not the alphabet before O is not a vowel. The word is consonant. So we add ES. What we add? ES. Now the word is ending with potato. It is ending with O. Before O is T. But T is not the vowel. It is the consonant. So we add EO. Oh, sorry, ES. What we add? We add ES. Nouns that end in O preceded by a consonant are made plural by adding ES. Preceded by a consonant means before O is a consonant. Before O is the consonant. We add ES. Potato, potatoes, hero, heroes. Now before O is R. R is not a vowel, it is a consonant. So we add ES. Domino, dominoes. ES. We have added ES because before O it is ending with N. N-O. So we add ES. And there are some alphabets we add ES or we add only S, like pianos, piano, pianos, photo, photos, hello, hellos. We add S to these words. Now, nouns ending in Y. Nouns ending in Y. When the Y follows a consonant, change Y to I and adding ES. Like when the last word is Y, but before Y is consonant. So what we do? We remove the Y and we add IES. For example, city, cities, candy, candies, lady, ladies. When the Y follows a vowel, the plural is formed by retaining the Y and adding S. Now, when the word is ending with Y, but before Y is a vowel, we add only S. When this concept is clear, only then you will be able to change the words from singular to plural. So these rules you have to remember. When the word ends with Y and before Y is a vowel, we add only S. For example, day, days, toy, toys, donkey, donkeys. When you remember these rules, only then you will be able to form the correct plurals. So remember these rules. There are some more rules which is also the same. Most common nouns we add only S. Nouns that end in ch, sh, s or x, we add es. Most noun that end in vowel plus y. Vowel plus y, like O is vowel and end is y, we add s. When the most nouns end with consonant plus y, we change y to ies. For example, lady, ladies, country, countries. And the noun that end in f or fe, we change it to ves. We change it to ves. Most noun that end in consonant o, we add es. When it end with o, consonant plus o means go. G is not a vowel, it is a consonant. Consonant plus o is es. And most noun that end in vowel plus o is vowel plus o, we add only s. Consonant plus o, es. Vowel plus o, only s. So when you remember these rules, it becomes easy for you to change from singular to plural. Like these are the plural nouns. When we change it, the spellings are changed. Now regular nouns. When you change the regular nouns like car, dog, book, house, apple, we add only s. But the noun ending in s, sh, ch, sh, x or z, we add es. Nouns ending in f or fe, we add ves. Vowel plus y, we add s. Consonant plus y, ies. Now vowel plus o is only s. Vowel plus o, we add only s. Consonant plus o, we add es. Now there are some irregular nouns and there are also nouns where we do not change. Irregular nouns like man, men, child, children, foot, feet, tooth, teeth, mouse, mice, person, people. These are the irregular nouns. When we change, the spelling is changed. Now there are also nouns when we say singular or plural, the spelling does not change. Like sheep, sheep, deer, deer, fish, fish, series, series, species, species. There are also some more examples like news, news, knowledge, knowledge, advice, advice. These are the nouns which do not change whether in singular or plural. Students, we all have done this exercise. So I want you all to learn only the rules. When you learn these rules, you will be able to change the plural from you will be able to change from singular to plural. So learn these rules and it will be very easy for you to change from singular to plural. We all have done this exercise before. We move on to the summary part. In this chapter, we have learned how to form plurals. Here again are the examples. So students, here we end with the revision of lesson 1 and 2. I hope you all understood the revision chapters, the lesson 1 and 2. If you have any doubts or queries, you can mail it on my mail ID. Thank you students for listening to the lecture. Thank you so much.